Hello, it's Nikki. So, I dropped my son off the other day, and my daughter was in the pram. And when I'm on my own, starting the day, it's usually a gladiator, let's go, everybody out, let's get dressed, let's do what we need to do because I've got to catch my daughter's first sleep of the day. I've got to try and keep things calm for my son as he goes into nursery, and then I crack on with my work as well, or whatever I happen to be doing that day. So the other week, I dropped my son off, and as I was walking back across the road, I bumped into my mum's neighbour. My mum lives really close to me, and since she's moved down, I've got to know her neighbour. One of which doesn't know anything about me, really. Not that she should, by any means. I'm not saying, like, don't you know who I am, Lynn? Lynn doesn't need to. But we ended up having a chat because one thing I realised is all she's kind of seen me as, and this is a very important chunk of my life, and it's a role and responsibility I take very seriously. But all she really knows me as is Caroline's daughter, so my mum's daughter, and Oscar and Luna's mum, and that's sort of what she knows. And as she was talking to me, she said, "So what do you do then?" And in that moment, I had to make sure that I could articulate it in a way that she would understand, which she did. But also, I had that moment that even though in that situation, when I was out, being mum and not with my work head on, not kind of in that zone by any means, and I was probably wearing some questionable outfit, I realised that I could really own what I was up to, how I earned money, what sort of things that I do. And I really noticed that work that I'd done into truly stepping into what I'm building and what I'm all about. And so after I said that, I gave myself a little secret pat on the back, like, yes, go on, you managed to say that. Because I think sometimes we can feel that this big opportunity or this thing that's going to change everything is going to happen when we're in our kind of glossy state, or when we're speaking on stage, or when we're meeting with a client, or when we're in a professional environment at a networking event. But for the most part, the conversations, the connections, the introductions or opportunities of work, they quite often come from just casual chats, or getting to know somebody, or chatting to somebody at a bus stop, or any of those sort of casual endeavors. And one thing that I've really found with that moment is it usually works, not that it works because I'm not doing it deliberately, but quite often things come from that because I'm just having a chat. I'm not attached to the outcome. I'm just having a lovely time. People are seeing like who I am. I'm not going in there with that, yeah, I'm going to win some business, I'm going to score a client, I'm going to do any of that. That's not the way that I work. And this has happened time and time again, especially with my acting career as well. It does come down to that. It's not who you know, it's what you know. And no, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Oh my God, I messed up the phrase, but you know what I'm saying. And that's why sometimes I look back on how I've grown my Instagram, and I often think like, oh, I've missed a trick here. I would have grown much quicker if I'd been at the front of every picture of all the Insta mums, if I'd been tagging, if I'd been going to every event that I had been invited to, if I'd really worked it, tag, shout out, all that sort of stuff. But for the most part, when I go to events, I come away and I look at my phone and I go, oh no, I didn't take any pictures, because I've been having conversations, because I've been in the zone of getting to know people and building genuine relationships. So, in a nutshell, I want to ask you, do you know what you do? Of course you do on one level, like you know sort of what your day-to-day tasks are. but can you summarize it? Can you share it in a really snappy, lovely way of communicating so people get it? Do you have a box of analogies that suddenly you can pull out and be able to share that in that way? Can you do that in an instance? If you can't, or if you're unsure, if you need some help with that messaging, I've got a brand new masterclass for you. I'm going to leave the link down below. And this is not a masterclass where I just tell my life story by any means and then go, okay, let's just give you one slide of actual value. No, this is like a experience of being able to really consider what your next steps are and how you can create more clients, more customers, more bookings, and really elevate yourself to what you know that you're supposed to be. Because on one hand, we can all convince ourselves that we might just want a little thing, or we don't want any stress, or we just want to kind of posture along. But I know that you want to do some stuff. I know what you want to have, those quite career defining moments where you're like, oh, I did it. Like it worked. I thought about it, I made the plan, and I made it happen. And that's great. So that's what I want to say today. That's your challenge. Download the masterclass. You're going to really gain loads from it, I believe. And it will have you thinking in a different way. And as you can see from my flavor, from my style of how I talk about things, it's not going to be just hustle harder or just think more positively. There's going to be lots of lovely nuggets in there. So I'll leave that with you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you again soon. Bye.